Welcome to your Reformer workout. My name is Melanie, your mildly goth Pilates instructor. Today we're going to do a no props full body Reformer workout. If you would, place on one red spring and one yellow spring, or one heavy and one extra light. Meet me kneeling on the Reformer facing the shoulder blocks. And if you're not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I post new workouts every Tuesday and I would love to see you again. And if you're already subscribed, please consider joining my membership channel, which offers exclusive workouts. So coming to kneeling down on the Reformer, you're going to place your hands just flat on the mat, shoulder distance apart. You want your wrists right under your shoulders, your knees right under your hips. You're going to be kneeling for this one. Knees are on the mobile bed as well. We're just going to begin with a quick cat-cow to mobilize the spine, and then we'll move into some lower body. Deep breath in, you're going to exhale. Tilt the pelvis forward. Look for your belly button. Big inhale. Exhale, unfurl the spine, send your sternum forward, send your tailbone back, really feel that nice big arch. Deep breath in, exhale. Inhale, unfurl the spine. Take care not to really crane your chin or your neck up toward the ceiling. You just want to bring that gaze forward on the arch. Take a couple more of these on your own time. Think about flaring the sits bones back behind you, shoulders rolled back and down as you arch forward. Last one. And exhale. Very good. Bring it back to a neutral spine. So we're not arched, we're not curved. Just have a nice, normal, natural curve in the lumbar spine. You can keep your hands down on the mat. I'm going to bring them up to the shoulder blocks, which will give me a little bit more of a stability challenge for the abdominals. I'm going to start just with some leg presses. I'm going to place my left heel on the foot bar, right in line with my hip. I'm going to push up through the hands, and I'm going to begin pressing away and bringing the carriage back in. If you need to reset to fix your alignment at any point, feel free to do that. We're going to press out for 8. This is 7. 6. Take care to keep the hips nice and square so your left hip is wrapping down, so both hip bones are facing the floor. You're trying to keep your shoulders just about over your wrists here. And take care to close the carriage slowly with control. 3 more. Really pushing through the heels to activate the glutes, activate the hamstrings, really squeeze your glutes as you press out. Last 2. And 1. Good. On your return, we're now going to switch to the ball of the foot, still in parallel, knee facing down. So bring that pad of your foot or your toes to the bar, push up through the hands, press out and in slowly with control. Feel how your balance is affected here. Maybe probably a little bit different, not maybe. And you may feel like your hands want to get away from you a little bit more. This is your chance to warm up your core very gently as we're also warming up the lower body. 4 more here for a total of 8. This is 3. Last 2. And 1. Good. We're going to continue this series, but for now we're going to even out on the right side. Place your left knee down. We're going to bring the heel of the right foot onto the foot bar right in line with your hips. If you need to reset, feel free to do that. Push up through the palms to separate through the shoulder blades. Press out and in, really pressing through the heels. Trying to keep your left knee, directly under your hip, and taking care to close the carriage slowly with control. Also making sure that your chin isn't dipping down toward the floor and that right hip is wrapped forward to keep the hips nice and square, both hip bones facing down. Final 2. And 1. Abs are on already, I hope. Good. Close the carriage slowly with control, bringing the ball of the right foot up to the foot bar. Once again, leg is in parallel, knee still facing down, but now we're pushing through the ball of the foot. If you need to readjust to get in line with the hip, feel free to do that. This is 7. Heel stays lifted the whole time. 6. Find your full stretch while you're out. Try to relax your neck and your upper traps. 4 more. Keep that right hip wrapped down toward the floor. 3. Also getting upper body here. Definitely don't turn your nose up at the shoulder workout here. Last one. Bring it all the way in. Sit back on your heels for a moment. Shake out your wrists. Roll out your shoulders, whatever you need to do. We're going to move on to another series in this sequence. So we just did all of that work in parallel with the knee facing down. Now we're going to practice going into external rotation or turnout. So hands can still be on the shoulder blocks. If your wrists are getting sore or tired, you can bring them down to the mat at any point. We're going to now turn your left leg out at the hips. Your knee is facing outward. Your toe is pointing out with it. Your sole of the foot on the left is going to be placed on the bar behind you. Your left hip is still going to be facing down, but now you're externally rotated. We're going to bend and extend. So once again, if you need to adjust your position once you get moving, take a moment to do that. So your left leg is kind of in this froggy position, but you don't want to be wrapping the hip out. We still want the left hip bone facing down. Trying to keep your right knee under your right hip. You're engaging your abdominals to help support yourself in this unusual position. We've got 4 more to get us to 8. This is 3. Feeling the glutes really fire up, huh? 2. And 1. Close the carriage all the way. We're now going to bring ourselves up to the ball of the foot. So coming up to the toes, essentially. If you need to wipe off your hands, if you're sweaty like I am, please do that. And I don't want you to wipe out for sweaty palms. We're going to stay on the ball of the foot. Keep wrapping that left hip down toward the mat. Knee is facing outward in line with your toes. We've got 5 more. Lots of glute work for me here. Probably for you too, I'm betting. Last 3. Exhale as you press away. 2. And 1. Very nice. Bring it all the way closed. We're going to go for the left side. Hands back to the shoulder blocks or down to the mat. We're going to start with our leg externally rotated. So rotating from the hip, foot flat on the bar. And again, your heel can come a little bit wider than hip distance if that feels more comfortable. We're going to press out and in. And if after one you need to adjust to find the right positioning, feel free to do that. We're going to press out and in. This is 7. Keeping your right hip wrapped down toward the mat. 6. 5. Still trying to keep your wrists under your shoulders. 4. Use your core to stabilize. 3. Push through your heels for more glute activation. And this is your last one. Bring it all the way home. Shake out your wrists if you need to. We're now going to switch to the ball of the foot or onto your toes. So, last set here before we move on. Wrap to external rotation. Lift the heel so you're on the ball of the foot. Knee is wrapped up and out while your right hip is still oriented down toward the mat. We go for 8. This is where you really start to feel the glute work. This is 6. 5, really take care to keep that knee lifted so it doesn't lower down. It's going to really help keep the rotation in the hip and give us the glute work we want here. Last 3. Keep breathing. 2. And 1. Very nice. Hard work right from the start. Close your carriage. Press down into a child's pose. We'll take a minute here and then we'll move on. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale. Release, walking the fingers long and forward. Big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Roll on up to sitting. We're going to move on. Next up, we're going to go into our bridge sequence. So I loaded on 2 reds and a blue, or 2 heavy and 1 light. Headrest goes down. Please make sure you do that. Headrest down, PSA. You're going to come to lying down on your back, and you're going to bring the feet to the foot bar, hip distance apart. You can have arches. You can bring toes, whatever makes sense. I'm going to go for arches because I frankly need the stability. Shoulders roll back, arms long by your sides or up over your shoulders. You're going to take a big breath in. Exhale, curl the pelvis under, roll the spine up. Find your diagonal line from your knees to your hips to your shoulders. Big breath in, exhale, melt the spine down, find the articulation. Find your neutral spine where the bottom of your sacrum is heavy on the mat and you've got a natural curve in the lumbar spine. Move away from the shoulder blocks a little bit if you need to. Find that roll up again. We're going to take a few of these here. Engaging your abs. Pulling your belly button up toward your sternum. Feeling your lower abdominals. Peel your spine up off the mat or assist in that process. Glutes are squeezing. Finding this nice articulation, taking care to keep your knees in line with your hips. And roll up. Good, let's take one more after this. And deep breath in. Exhale. Roll it up. Arms wherever is comfortable, down by your side or lifted up. We're going to take a march. Raise one leg to tabletop, lower it down. Raise the other to tabletop, lower it down. Alternating sides. And switch. Keep breathing. Try to make sure your hip bones are staying nice and aligned. Any bobbling side to side, slow it down and really try to give yourself a chance to stabilize through the core. This definitely is a glute and hamstring burner, but core is on and very important to this exercise as well. So really make sure you're trying to stabilize through the pelvis. We're going to take one more each side. Good. Last one. Lower it down. Now we're going to stay in the bridge. Take a break if you need to, but raise the right leg up to 90 degrees. Lower it down to 45. Raise it back up. Try not to move the carriage. Lower down to 45. Raise it back up. We're going to go for 4 more. Exhale as you come up. Inhale as you go down. Exhale as you come up. Fighting for that stability in the carriage. Good. Pause at the top. Tiny pulses up and down. Lifting the hips. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift the hips, bend the right leg, place it down. We're going to go right for the other side. Pause if you need to. Left leg comes up to 90 degrees. We're going to lower down to 45. Raise it back up, trying to keep the carriage stable. Lower it down, raise it back up. Make sure the butt doesn't drop. Your hips don't drop. 2 more. Fight for it. I have to too. And we're going to pause at 90 degrees. Now, hips lower and lift. Good. Let's go. Tiny pulses. Really squeezing the glutes and hamstrings on the right side, making sure you're not arching through your back. 3, 2, 1. Lift the hips, bend the knee, lower the foot. Deep breath in, exhale, melt the spine down until the bottom of your sacrum is heavy on the mat. The stability is easier said than done. Hug your knees in toward your chest. Rock your head side to side. Take a beat and just relax for a moment. But wait, there's more. We're going to bring the arches of the feet or the toes back to the foot bar. Give yourself a little room. You're going to roll up to your bridge position. Pause there. We're going to press out and in, extending the legs long. Bend the knees, bring it home. So every time you want to think about the knees coming on an upward diagonal, so you're not letting the hips drop. Press out and in, making sure that you don't have an arch or an over-exaggeration of the lower back or the lumbar spine. That's going to put undue pressure on your back here. If you need to change your spring resistance, feel free to do that. And try to keep your pelvis stable. It might be a little harder now that you've really challenged your glutes and hamstrings in those first 2 series. But that's good. We all need a challenge, right? Good. Last 2. Definitely going to be sore tomorrow. Bring it in. Good. Close the stopper. Roll the spine down 1 vertebra at a time. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Grab onto your left thigh or your left shin. If you'd like to, put a little pressure in your right thigh and right calf with your right forearm. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Feel that stretch in the glutes on the right side. Switch. We're going to move on to our next series in a moment, but let's stretch out our glutes while we have a chance. Left ankle is over the right thigh. Grabbing your right thigh or shin, pulling it in toward your chest, pressing away on your left thigh, your left arm. Good. Release, and we're going to move on. Coming up to sitting, I switched onto 1 red and 1 blue spring, or 1 heavy and 1 light. Taking the straps, and I'm coming to lie down. Headrest is lifted, and I'm going to take those straps, pull them forward, and thread my feet through the straps to place my straps on the thigh. Now, if you have double loops and the large loop is more comfortable on your thighs, feel free to do that. I'm going to scoot away from the shoulder blocks. I'm going to place my arms wherever they're comfortable, preferably down by their side or hugging your rib cage here. I'm going to really zip the inner thighs together. I'm just going to send my toes down into the well. Take a big breath in, lift them up. If your toes are tapping the foot bar, you're welcome to place that into the downward position. But you really want to take care to not change position in your spine. So it can be tempting to arch as the toes go down and curl the spine under. That's really not exactly the purpose of the exercise. So we want to focus on building rib to hip core connection. We want to zip the inner thighs together and use the abdominals to lower and lift the legs. So if we're changing orientation of the pelvis or the hips here, we're going to lose a lot of that core work. This is a simple movement, but if you really focus on the positioning, it can be a meaningful movement too. So a little more core warm up before we move into more of the burner stuff. Try to relax your head, neck, and chest. We're going to take 2 more. And 1. Good. Bring it up. We're going to open to a butterfly or diamond position. So feet together, knees as wide as your shoulders or as wide as the carriage. We're going to do the same thing. Lower and lift. And lift. I need to center myself just a little bit. Okay, let's try again. And again, trying to keep your pelvis neutral, your spine neutral, so you have a neutral, natural curve in the lower back. And we're just lowering and lifting. If you really have your ribs oriented down toward your pelvis, you're moving slowly and with control, you will start to feel this. Making sure you're still breathing. But lots of lower abdominals. This is a great foundational exercise before you move into something very challenging to make sure that your deep core is on. We're going to take our last one here. Good. Now we're going to move into knee circles. So knees come together, press down, open the knees, draw the legs up, knees come together at the top. So we're going to open at the bottom, draw a circle, bring it around to the top. Good. I've got 5 more. Same rules apply with your hips and pelvis. Everything staying very steady, very neutral, while still breathing. Good. Last 2. And 1. Now you probably guessed it, we're going to reverse. Open at the top, press the feet down, bring the knees together, bring it up. Open the knees at the top, lower the feet, knees together, and up. 6 more. Open, press down, knees together, and up. Open, down, knees together, and up. Check in with your spine. Make sure your lower back hasn't flattened into the mat, unless you are having back pain, of course, in which case that's fine. Good. And the last 2 here. And 1. Very nice. Bring it up to tabletop. We're going to move on to our next series. Next, we're going to leave the straps on the thighs, and we're going to come up to a curled position and move the legs in and out. If that is too much on your neck, leave the neck down. So what this is going to look like is bring the chin toward the chest. Your arms are going to reach forward. You're going to keep the legs zipped together, extend them to 45 or lower, bring them to tabletop. Press out, back in. Press out, back in. And if that's too much on your head, bring it down to the headrest. And if you need a little more challenge, you can bring your legs lower. I'm going to keep in this curled position, keep the legs to like a pretty moderate standard 45 degrees or so. I'm going to take another 5, 4. Try to make sure you're prioritizing the abdominals working here rather than the thighs. Last 2. And 1. Very nice. Lower the head, rest your feet, rock your head side to side, and we'll take the straps off of the thighs. Anchor your feet on the foot bar. We're going to place the straps onto the arches of the feet. Go for some feet and straps work. So carrying the theme of lots of glutes, lots of lower body with abs, and we'll move on to more upper body in a little bit. So legs extend up to 90 degrees, knees facing your nose, legs in parallel. We're going to press down, raise the legs back up, hinging at the hip. So what is not ideal is lifting the hips up or letting the spine kind of peel with the legs. You really want to feel like your pelvis is very neutral. The bottom of your sacrum toward your tailbone is really sticking on the mat. Ribs are down, shoulders wide. 2 more, nice and easy here. Feeling activation through the back of the leg and a little stretch. Good, let's go for leg circles. Press down, open wide, draw them around together and up. Press down, open wide, around together and up. If that's too wide and you feel the inner thighs a little too much, keep this at more of a classical height, which is 45 or higher, and pretty moderate width. If you have the range and you feel like it's a good option for you to go much wider, go for it. I personally have some janky inner thigh problems, so I'm going to leave this as is. Let's reverse. Open at the top, bring them down around together. Open at the top, down around together. We've got another 6, 5, 4, last 3, 2, and 1. Up to the top, we're going to go to Pilates V. Heels together, toes apart. Flex the feet. Lower them down to 45. Frog. We're going to bend and extend the legs. Heels stay together. Pelvis stays in neutral. Belly button zips up toward your sternum. Abs engaged. And your knees should stop right about over your hips. It's common for people to want to bring the knees all the way in and let the pelvis curl up. That's not what I would choose for you here. Stopping the knees around the hips really encourages you to keep your pelvic alignment right where it is. Keep the abs on. Good. Last one here. Now we're going to go for frog circles. So heels come in. I'm going to extend the legs up to 90 degrees. I had to think about it for a minute. Press down to 45, bend the knees in. We keep it going. So we extend all the way before we press down, lower before we bend. Good. Let's go for another 6. Really trying to keep your heels squeezed together. Abs are on. 4 more. Resisting the springs as the legs bend in. Last 2. Not letting momentum move the carriage for you. And 1. You probably guessed it. We're going to reverse. Bend at the top. Heels come toward the pelvis. Press out. Raise them straight up. Bend and extend. So you may have to think a little bit more about pelvic alignment for this one because it's very easy to let the pelvis rock in this direction for whatever reason. Good. We've got 4 more. Last 3. Staying flexed at the ankle. 2. And 1. Press out to 45. Point the feet. We're going to beat the heels together slightly. Just opening and closing the legs. Let's go for 12, 11, 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, 5, 4. Very dainty inner thigh work. Ropes aren't shaking too much. And 1. Squeeze the legs together. Legs come up. Soles of the feet together. Knees apart. Heels come down into the well. Grab onto the ropes for support. Seek your butterfly stretch. Really let gravity give you the maximum stretch. I could fall asleep here. Let's extend the right leg out to the side, holding onto the rope. Give it a little bit of a pull for a bonus inner thigh stretch. Foot comes in towards center, other side. Left leg out. Very nice. Bring it to center. You guessed it. Legs extend up toward the ceiling. Flex the feet, pulling on the ropes, drawing the toes toward your nose. Still trying to keep the bottom of your sacrum on the mat. You can, sort of extend the legs over, but this tends to give you a little bit of a targeted hamstring stretch as such. When you're ready, take the straps off of the hands. We're going to move into hands and straps, get some more arm work and ab work. So I've placed the hands and the straps. I'm still on the same spring load, 1 red, 1 blue. Fingertips reaching for the ceiling. My shoulders are plugged into the mat. Moved a little bit away from the shoulder blocks. Legs to tabletop, squeezed together. I'm going to begin pressing the arms down, raising them up. Options for making this harder. Rolling up at the head, neck, and chest, and or extending one leg to 45, alternating sides. Or you're welcome to take both legs out and in. Or if you're feeling very advanced, keep the legs out. That is not my destiny for today. I'm going to keep the head down, but I encourage you to try to explore either the head coming up, the legs extending, or a combination of both for maximum abdominal challenge. Good, let's take another 3. Last 2. Whoops, I got ahead of myself. And 1. Next, we're going to go for coordination. So make sure you have enough room between your shoulders and the shoulder blocks. For this one, we will have to curl up. Legs start in tabletop. We're going to roll up, press the hands down, legs go to 45. Open, close, bend the knees in, tricep, bend in the arms. Extend out at the same time. Open, close, knees in, then arms bend. Arms and legs out. Open, close, knees in, bend the arms. 2 more, press out. Open, close, knees in, bend the elbows. 1 more, out, open, close, knees in, elbows in. Lower the head, close the stopper, rest the feet on the foot bar. Rock your head side to side. We'll move on in a sec. Straps still in hand. We're going to extend the arms up over the shoulders. Again, find your room between your shoulders and the shoulder blocks. Legs start in tabletop, pardon me. Gonna take a big breath in, curl up with the head, neck, and chest. Arms go down. We're gonna bend one leg in toward the chest, extend the other. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, keeping your curl. Exhale, exhale, switching sides. Chin is nodded toward the chest. Good, keep it going. We've got 2. Switch. I miscounted last set. Good. Bend the knees to tabletop. Arms up, roll it down, rest your feet for 1 second. We're going to move on to scissors. Same concept. Shoulders plugged into the mat, arms reach up, legs start at tabletop. We're going to press out, roll up. Right leg up, left leg down. Good. Switching sides. If you need a little more room to work, you want to lower the foot bar, feel free. Make sure your shoulders are rolled back. Good. Fingertips reaching forward. Still breathing. Let's go for 3. Switch. 2. Switch. 1. Switch. Bend the knees. Arms up. Rest the feet. Get ready for the next one. Bicycles. Let's go. Big breath in. Legs to tabletop. Roll it up. Legs out. We're going to bicycle the legs, reaching out and bending the other one. This is 6. Switch. 5. Switch. 4. 3, 2, 1, reverse. 8, switch. 7, switch. Come up a little higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Legs to tabletop, arms up, rest your feet down on the foot bar. Relax your arms down by your side. Look side to side. Give your neck a rest. And let's do something else. Next, let's get into some upper body, but we're gonna marry it with some glute work. So I'm gonna turn to face the shoulder blocks, come to kneeling, and I'm gonna curl my toes under and sit on my heels. If that doesn't work for you, you can just come to sitting with the tops of your feet down or just rest in a cross-legged position. So grab the straps into your hands. I'm gonna thread my hands through the loops. And I'm on 1 red spring or 1 heavy spring. You can grab onto the ropes right above the hardware. Sit up on your heels or in your alternate position if you like to. I'm going to begin pulling the ropes back while I lift my hips. This may cut off my head. Oh no, that works great. So my gaze is forward, spine is neutral. As I pull the straps back or pull the ropes back, I'm going to squeeze my glutes and lift up my butt. So if you need a little more space, feel free to find it. Take your time. We're going to press back, squeeze, shoulder blades squeeze together in the back. Gaze is just on the horizon, not up, not down. Taking care to really make sure the shoulder blades are moving as the arms pull. And if you're lifting up your hips, really take advantage of the glute squeeze here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and squeeze the glutes together at the top. Good. 5 more. Last 3. Final 2, abs are engaged as well. And 1. Good. Next, we're going to sit on the heels, hinge forward at the waist, draw your abs in and up, press the arms back, and draw them forward. Press back, shoulder blades still squeeze together, getting a little more triceps this time. Good. This is 4. And 3, gaze is down. Last 2. And 1. Hold it back. Tricep extensions, bend and extend. Let's go for 8. 7. You need to give yourself a little more room on the ropes, feel free to do that. You've got 5 and 4, oh boy, 3, 2, steady yourself with your abs, and 1. Very nice. Close the stopper. Let's continue on. Next, come to sitting on your bottom, legs extended forward. If you'd like to cross your ankles to make a little more room, or if that's more comfortable, feel free to do that. I switched onto a blue spring or light spring just because we're going to go into some things that might be a little intense on the upper traps. If you want to stay on the red spring or the heavy spring, feel free to do that. So I'm going to sit up really tall so my spine is in neutral, not curving the lumbar spine. I'm not arching it forward. Ribs are down. I'm going to grab the straps in front of me. I'm going to place my hands into a downward position. I personally like to choke up a little bit on the straps for this one. You don't have to do that if that's not comfortable, but find the right spot for you. Roll the shoulders back. We're just going to begin raising the arms up so the palms are facing forward and lower down. Good. Let's just go for 6. This is 5. Shoulders are staying down, taking care to keep the ribs oriented downward toward the pelvis, and shoulders relaxed down the whole time. Hands are right in line with the shoulders. Last 2. And 1. Good. Bring it back to center. Flip the palms to face each other. And next, we're going to open up to a T. Arms go wide, shoulder blades together in the back. Bring it back to starting. Taking care not to pop the rib cage as the hands go back. Again, we want to keep that core connection. And ribs down is really important for that. Think about the shoulder blades squeezing together in the back as the hands go wide. Regrip if you need to. Good. Last 2. And 1. Good. Back to front. Next, we're going to rotate so that the thumbs are facing outward. Keep that nice seated position. We're going to draw the hands back and bring it back. If you'd like to grip with your thumbs on the straps, you're welcome to do that. The shoulder blades are squeezing together as the hands go back. Good. Let's go for 6. This is 5. 4. That's a really good upper back work here. Very, very good for posture. 3. Last 2. And 1. Nice. Rest for a moment. We're going to put all of that together. So if your shoulders and arms and back are not tired, they likely will be at the end of this. Sit up really tall, straps still in hand. Flip the palms to face down. Roll the shoulders back. We're going to start by raising the arms up over your head. Shoulders stay down. Come back. Flip the palms to face each other. Arms out to a T. Keep the palms facing each other. Arms go back on a low V or an A position. Good. Back to front. Palms down, excuse me. Arms up. Back. Flip the palms to face each other. T. And back. Low V. Palms face forward. Good. Let's try again. Palms down. Arms up. And back. T. Out to the side. Low V or A position, palms forward. Last set. Palms down, arms up. Take it to a T. A position or low V, palms forward. And that is all for that. We're going to next bring the feet to the headrest. We're going to come down to a nice big curl. Before we do that, we're going to switch onto 1 red spring and 1 yellow spring. We're 1 heavy and 1 extra light. Straps go into your palms. We're going to flip the palms to face upward, go for biceps. So I'm going to find a big C curve. So I've got abs happening and arms for this one. I'm going to keep my elbows high as I bend and extend the arms, bringing the palms in toward the waist or in toward the face. I was thinking about my belly button pulling in and up. So that's where the word waist came from there. Elbows are staying lifted, so I'm not dipping the elbows down here. It's going to lose some of the efficacy of this movement. Good. Let's take another 5. 4. Last 3. Final 2. And 1. Nice. that is it for your arms. Place your straps down by your sides. We're gonna finish up with a stretch and then you can go about your day. Next up, let's go for mermaid stretch. So I'm gonna stack my legs on top of each other. Left leg on the bottom, right leg on top. I'm going to switch to a red and a blue spring, one heavy, one light. My left hand will come to the foot bar. My right arm will come out to the side. Rib cage down, big breath in, exhale, reach the right arm up and over. Flip that right palm to face the floor, keeping the hips stacked. Big breath in, exhale, draw it up slowly with control. So I'm getting obliques, but I'm also getting a side stretch here. Big breath in, exhale. Look over to the left, reach the right palm toward the floor. Good. Let's keep it going. We'll go for another 2. Nice deep core exercise here, as well as shoulder activation on the left. Good. 1 more. Nice active stretch here. Good. Once you close the stopper, we're going to grab onto the shoulder block by your knees. Arm up and over. Turn to face the shoulder blocks. Get a nice side stretch here. Reach up and over. We're going to go for the other side. Next, we stack the right leg on the bottom, the left leg on top, shins up against the shoulder blocks, right arm on the foot bar in line with your shoulder, left arm down, shoulders square to front. We're going to take a big breath in, ribs down, exhale, press away, left palm flips to face the floor, and up. Good. Close the stopper, just about. Big breath in, shoulders down, reach up and over. Left palm down, starting to feel your obliques turning on for this one. That spring load really helps with that. Deep breath in, exhale. Reach up and over. Good, last one. Up, flip the palm to face the floor. Sit up nice and tall. Close the stopper, grab the shoulder block on the front, reach the right arm up and over. Twisting to face the shoulder blocks. Chest is pointed towards the floor. Reach the right arm up and uncurl. Come up to sitting. I switch to a red and a yellow or a heavy and an extra light. If you don't have the extra light, you can stick with just the red or the heavy. Scooter stretch variation. So we're going to bring the left foot up against the right shoulder block behind you. Hands to the foot bar. Right foot aligns with the front of the machine. So I'm going to align my hips facing forward. Take a big breath in. I'm going to exhale, press the carriage away, pushing my hands into the foot bar in front of me, not pulling forward. Feel the psoas stretch here. Shine your sternum forward like a light. Deep breath in. Bring it in. Big inhale. Exhale, press away as you send that left leg back. Good. Big breath in. Let's press it out. This time we can extend the right leg forward. If that full split isn't working for you, keep the left leg bent. Just hinge back, flex the right foot, and go for your hamstring stretch. Otherwise, take it to your full split, wherever that may be. I'm very flexible. Doesn't have to be this crazy. Good. Big breath in, exhale. Close the stopper. Let's go for the other side. Walk around to the other side of your machine. And I'm going to bring the left foot in line with the front of the machine, right foot up against the shoulder block behind me. Good. Hips square. Press the carriage back, keeping your chest high for this one. Nice big psoas stretch here. Big breath in, draw the carriage in. Exhale, square off the hips, square off the shoulders. Shine that light from your sternum toward the front wall. Good. Let's take one more. Relax through the neck and traps and your shoulders. Next, hinge back and flex the left foot, straightening your left leg for your hamstring stretch, or if you would like to, straighten the front leg fully, extend the back leg, go for your full split, wherever that may be. And if you'd like to move through this one, if it's uncomfortable to stick there, if you want to move in and out, you're welcome to do that. Take a moment to relax here, pushing into the foot bar if you're going for that full split. Draw the carriage into a close and you are all set. You did it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not yet subscribed, please do so. I'd love to see you again. I post new workouts every Tuesday. And if you're subscribed and you want a little bit more, please sign up for my membership channel, which is a monthly subscription where you have access to an exclusive set of workouts featuring lots of new combinations, special props, etc. And thank you to those who are supporting me. I really appreciate the super thanks supporters from the last 2 weeks. You guys are awesome. And special thanks to my founding members on my membership subscription. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. If you are interested in signing up for memberships, click this link and I'll see you next time. Love you guys so much.